Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
On your exclusive home of the San Francisco Giants. KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM. The sports leader.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball to right field. Hustling over toward the foul line. Teoscar Hernandez gets there and makes the catch. And the game is over. And that sets the stage for the rubber match of the series here tomorrow.
Welcome into an extra inning post-game show on a Saturday with Bill Laskey. Well, last night it was so exciting when Patrick Bailey hit his grand slam and the Giants win 5-1. They had the energy, they had the motivation going into Saturday's game with their ace Logan Webb on the hill against another top pitcher with the Dodgers from Clayton Kershaw. Well, both starters didn't do well at all. Logan Webb having one of the toughest stretches of a game today. He just couldn't get anything rolling. And when you look at what he's done in his last 8 starts, he's gone 6 times with 2 runs or less and 2 times with 3 runs. You can go all the way back to July 25th is when the Mets scored 6 runs off of him. So he has been stellar for the orange and black. And tonight, he just couldn't get the sinker down. He only threw 8 pitches of sinkers, and that's usually his top-line pitch. Threw a lot of sweepers and cutters. But he got the ball up at times. He walked a couple guys, and the L.A. Dodgers ended up giving him 10 hits off of him in only 4 innings. And like I said, he only had 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He just couldn't get the sinker down. The L.A. Dodgers came in hitting over 250 as a team. They had over 215 home runs, 1,200 doubles. This team can hit, and we know that. Yesterday, Justin Verlander put a show on, going 7 innings, only giving up 4 hits and 1 earned run. Today, it was the opposite. The Dodgers came out swinging. Ohtani hit his 49th home run, and the averages just kept going up on this team. Hernandez being one, 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Freeman, 3 for 6 with 2 RBIs. Mookie Betts, 2 for 5 with an RBI. And then the bottom of the order really put everything together. And it's just something that the Giants had to stop, and they couldn't stop the bleeding today. Logan Webb gives up a 1-1 in the top of the first inning. The Giants come back with 4, and you felt really good about this. You said, okay, here's the motivation we were looking about yesterday. Logan Webb went out in the third. Like I said, Ohtani hits a home run. He gives up a base hit to Betts. He punches out Freeman and Muncy, and he has Hernandez on a great pitch, a 1-2 pitch. He went outside, and he tried to go outside, and the changeup curled on the inside, and Hernandez hit a double, and they come back with 2 runs in the third. In the 5th inning, everything unraveled. He just could not get out of the inning at all. When you look at what happened, the first guy, Betts, he gets a walk, and I thought that was the first thing that you didn't want to do, is get a leadoff walk in that 5th inning. A base hit by Freeman, Muncy gets a walk, and now it's loaded up. And this is something that Oscar did again. Hernandez ended up coming up with another key hit there with a double, and it just knocked Webb completely out of that inning. He just couldn't get back on track. A sac fly by Conforto, a fly ball by Pages, and then a walk and then a double. And at that time, the Dodgers had motivation and ended up scoring 6 runs in that 5th inning. The Giants came back in just a nice 3-run rally in the 5th inning to get the score to 9-7. But when Matt Gage went out there in the 6th inning, everything fell apart. And I really believe where it fell apart as he hit Max Muncy. Being an ex-pitcher, he let a fastball go, it tailed in, and hit Muncy in the helmet. You could see the distraught in him. He was bent over, his head down. It's a terrible feeling as a pitcher throwing, and all of a sudden the ball hits the hitter in the wrong place, in the helmet, in the back, or the arm, and you're not trying to hurt anybody. And at that time, I felt maybe Bob Melvin or J.P. Martinez should have had somebody up, because you could see that Matt Gage was just totally, out of sort. And it ended up falling really worse for him as the inning progressed. A walk, a base hit, and a double, and the Dodgers scored 3 more runs and kind of put it away there. But I felt really bad for Matt Gage at that time. It is a very nervous time. You didn't mean to hurt him. He's looking over at Muncy, pounding his chest. He's apologizing. But the thought pattern of hitting somebody in the head at that time of the game, and the game was still close, it affected him. And he couldn't get the breaking ball down. He couldn't hit his spots. A couple tough calls by the umpire, Ortiz, and he struggled that whole inning. I was a little distraught then because there was no bullpen up. There was nobody to save him in that inning, and they left him out there, and it ended up giving up 3 runs, as I just said, and it just kind of pushed the game away. Tristan Beck came in through 2, Wynn through 1, and sure enough, the Dodgers end up winning this 13-7. So there's 14 games left. That's where we're at. And, of course, Texas beat the Mets today. The Athletics just beat the Reds 11-5. So the Giants are still 1/2 game out. Of course, the tiebreaker goes to the Mets, but the Mets right now have lost 8 straight games. They have one more game against Texas, and the San Diego Padres comes in there for 3 when the Giants are playing the Diamondbacks Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this isn't over. This is this one hurdle they get through. Tomorrow's a big game. I really feel tomorrow with Robbie Ray on the hills, you got to stop this offense. And a lot of left-handers are in this lineup. We know that. Ohtani, again, swinging the bat extremely well, leading off. So Robbie Ray is going to have come up with a game plan to try to limit the damage. Now, Tyler Glasnow, he's had troubles, but his last outing against Colorado, he threw 7 innings of no-hit ball. He has been giving up some runs. Before that, Arizona and San Diego both got him for 3 earned runs both games. But I really believe it's the offense you have to stop with this Dodger team. The offense just comes at you, and they have a solid 9 coming at you every inning, and then they roll it over back to Ohtani at the top of the order. Today, it was just one of those bumps in the road. Logan Webb, as I said, has been pitching outstanding his last 8 outings. So today was just one of those rough ones. Now, when you look forward to when the Giants go to L.A., Logan Webb's next start is Thursday, and that's the first game of a 4-game series against the Dodgers. So he's going to come right back against the L.A. Dodgers on Thursday. They don't know. They don't have the probables up for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Arizona because they shot their 3-legged monsters against the Dodgers with Verlander, and you have Webb, now Ray. So I have no idea what Bob Melvin and J.P. Martinez is going to do Monday and Tuesday, as Verlander would be scheduled to pitch on Wednesday. So we'll find out. Tomorrow they'll throw the probables up, but tomorrow I believe is going to be a good game. It's going to be one of those games that the Giants are going to have to battle through and try to stop the damage, try to stop this offense the Dodgers throw out there. Like I said, 14 games left, 1 tomorrow against L.A., 3 against Arizona, 4 against the Dodgers next weekend. Then they come home in Oracle and they play 6 at Oracle, 3 against St. Louis, and 3 against Colorado. All right, we'll take a quick break. 415-808-KNBR. Got a few people on hold right now, but give me a call as we talk a little bit about this game, but looking forward. I think we need to take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow and then what's going to happen on this next road trip, because that's really going to tell us where the Giants are going to land in this National League wild card race. I'm Bill Laskey. This is the Extra Inning Post-Game Show. More coming up right here on the Sports Leader.
From the mound to the mic, this is KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Hear him by saying to your smart speaker, play KNBR.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Pralines and Cream, Tin Roof Sundae, Rocky Road. These are just a few of the Lenardi's Market's customer favorites. Lenardi's old-fashioned gourmet ice cream, smooth, creamy, and delicious. Lenardi's ice cream is made locally with fresh quality ingredients. Lenardi's ice cream is the perfect end to a great meal or after a Giants win. Stop by one of Lenardi's 8 locations and treat yourself to your favorite flavor. San Bruno, Burlingame, Belmont, Los Gatos, 2 in San Jose, 1 in Bascom, 1 on Meridian, Walnut Creek, and Danville. Lenardi's, quite simply, the best.
Georgie Brothers Furniture Showroom is a full-service home furnishing store located at 211 Baden Avenue in South San Francisco and has been in business for 92 years. It is one of the Bay Area's best-kept secrets. Still operated by the third-generation Georgie family, their goal is to offer expert and personal service as well as white glove in-home delivery. Georgie Brothers also features a Simmons Beautyrest mattress gallery. Get a great night's sleep at an amazing price. Come visit our 50,000 square foot showroom, which is full of beautiful quality furniture pieces. You can also visit them at GIORGIBROS.com.
We all believe a good fastball is what you need to pitch in the big leagues, but it's all about location. The Handler Union Square Hotel in the heart of the city by the bay is the answer. I'm not throwing you a curveball. The Handler Union Square Hotel has an outdoor swimming pool, fresh open-air windows, and much, much more. Call 800-995-HUSH or go online at handlery.com, enter promo code Laskey for parking included. That's 800-995-HUSH. It's a winner.
1-1 pitch. And a line drive down the right field line on a splitter. It will go into the right field corner. Encarnacion comes around third to score. Here comes Matos around third, and he scores. And the throw in from the right field corner goes right to the middle of the infield until Mookie Betts picks it up at the back of the pitcher's mound. It's a 2-run double for Patrick Bailey, and don't make any other plans for the rest of the night just yet.
You're listening to the former Giants righty. It's KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Heard on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR.
Back on the Extra Inning post-game show on a Saturday. A great hit right there by Patrick Bailey. Stay hot. Patrick Bailey hitting .220 now on the season, and he's been red hot, especially that nice grand slam he hit last night. What a great game that was on a Friday night. Today, They started off great. They were up 4-1, but the Dodgers with this offense continued to put the hammer down, and they ended up getting 13 runs on 17 hits, the most runs allowed by the San Francisco Giants and the most hits they have given up in the season so far. So a tough couple innings is really where it came down to. And the Giants came back, as you just heard Patrick Bailey hitting that double. They tried to get 3 runs across in the bottom of the 5th. They made the score close, 9-7, but then the Dodgers opened it up with 4 more runs. And the Giants ended up losing their 73rd game, 75-73 on the season, half a game behind the Mets. The Reds did lose. The Diamondbacks did win, so Diamondbacks are up 1, coming up behind them. But still, the Giants are a half a game behind the Mets. And we'll find out what's happening tomorrow. Texas plays the Mets tomorrow. Of course, the Giants play their 3rd game against the Dodgers before they go on their last road trip to Arizona and L.A. 415-808 KNBR if you want to get on the phone lines. Let's go to Don in San Francisco. Don, you're on a late night Saturday night with Bill Laskey. A tough game tonight. How are you, Don?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, I'm just hanging in there. I just hope it just turns around tomorrow. That's what I'm looking for, what I'm talking about.
I'm looking forward to, and I'm hoping tomorrow will be a better game than what we saw today. Of course, you can't look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers can hit, and what Verlander did yesterday, of course, with Lucchesi, Walker, and Peguera, they pitched them extremely well yesterday. Dodgers came out and hit the ball well tonight.
Yes, I just hope they can just find a way. And if they don't make some, I just hope they can just be the spoilers, you know what I'm talking about? The spoilers.
It'd be great. They got a tough, the 14 games left. They just have to get through Arizona. And, of course, next weekend, the 4 games in L.A. is really going to play a big part of this wild card chase. And if they can stay close after this road trip, they have St. Louis and Colorado for their last 6, and that's going to help them if they get close enough to pull this off. When you're looking at what other teams have done, when you look at what the Mets have, they play San Diego, Washington, the Cubs, and Miami. So they have the Cubs and Miami the last 6. Cincinnati plays the A's. Of course, they're finishing up with the A's. They play St. Louis, Cubs, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee. So those are really the 2 teams that are battling to get to the wild card chase. Other than that, Arizona, I don't think will have enough. They got to play Philly, Dodgers, San Diego, their last 9. So it's really going to come down to see if the Mets get out of this losing streak in. They have lost 8 in a row. And to see if the Giants can battle in here and win a few of these games against the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. When you look after tomorrow, the next 7 games are going to be difficult.
It's just like, it looks like it's going to be a real tight game, tight games. You're going to be very close, It's going to be very close.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun baseball. That's why September's fun. And I tell you, what's great about this, Don, is last year we didn't play the Dodgers. The Giants never played the Dodgers in September. And this year, they're playing them 7 times. So this is where, the rivalry comes into it. But you got to stop these hitters. And, of course, we know the Dodgers have a good hitting lineup 1 through 9. And tomorrow, Robbie Ray's going to have to carve them up to keep them off the bases and keep these runs down and see if the Giants can pull it out. But, Don, thanks for the call. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm right there with you. Let's see if they can win this rubber game and go 4-2 on the homestand. Let's go out to Bert in Hawaii. Aloha, Bert. Well, you didn't think this was going to happen, Bert. You and I were talking about this weeks ago, but here they are, half a game out of the wild card.
Yep. Yeah. How you doing, Bill? It's been a while.
I'm good, Bert.
So.
I had to start my call like that to you, Bert, because you and I were talking about it, and you said, Bill, they have no chance, none. And guess what? They turned it on.
Yep, but with that said, I do want to take credit because when I was in San Diego, I told you I saw that 4 games. And since that time they left San Diego, they were 14-6. So I think I gave them good luck after they left. So
you did.
I'm taking all the
you
credit,
did,
even though I didn't believe in them.
Well, Bert, they really played well, and when you start reflecting on what happened, that the last 2 games in St. Louis, I can look in my rearview mirror and say, man, both of those losses were tough, especially at the bottom of the 9th with Walker, and then the next day Kai Tang walking 3 guys. But tonight's game had that same kind of flavor. I mean, the Giants had a nice lead, 4-1. You had Logan Webb on the hill, but he just couldn't find his pitches. Like I said earlier, he only threw 8 sinkers, and this is one of his top pitches. He just couldn't get it over the plate, and then he was just throwing sweepers and cutters and changeups, but he couldn't get his best pitch in the zone, and he had to go to the other 3 secondary pitches, and it faltered for him.
Yeah, but my thoughts, Bill, is I don't know why the Giants started Webb today. They should have just kept the rotation going and go with Kai Tang today. I mean,
well, it was his 5th day. It was his 5th. They didn't push him up. This was his 5th day. They just pushed that off day on Thursday as one of his 4 days. That's why everything fell into place where Webb, this was his 5th day starting. And then Robbie Ray, tomorrow's his 5th game starting. The 5th day, I should say. And that's the rotation. That's why they did it this way. They just took Kai Tang out of the rotation. Most likely he's going to pitch in Arizona. I don't think Carson Seymour is going to get a start, but that's my opinion. They got to come up with something for Monday and Tuesday. Bob Melvin said yesterday, when we get to Arizona, we'll figure it out. But he's going with the 3 horses in this series, as well as what the Dodgers did. The Dodgers did the same thing against the Giants because these are their 3 best pitchers.
Yeah, I still say they should have gone with, Kai Tang. I mean, I don't know, like I said, you probably know more what's going on, and obviously the Giants through the Bob Melvin then, but just keep the rotation going because Webb had a hard time Monday night against Arizona, and that it was kind of expected he wasn't going to be too sharp today. I think one more day rest, and if he was going tomorrow, that would put us.
He didn't pitch that bad against Arizona. 6 innings, he got the win. He got the win, Bert. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run against Arizona.
Yeah. But in the beginning, it was 4 runs and he had 1 earned run, but Christian Koss had that error, and then he gave up that triple with the bases loaded. But even the inning after that, he gave up. So he gave up basically 4 runs. I mean, that triple was a killer too. I mean, anyway, I just like I said, now that we're in it, I always got to complain about something. So I just even think.
Well, I'm here waiting on. I'm watching you on my couch next to me because Bert, I'll be the professor here and I'll be the psychiatrist. But I think what we have to look at is the best rotation the Giants can do against the Dodgers, and what Bob Melvin, J.P. Martinez did. By Verlander going Friday, he'll get the last game in Arizona. Then Webb and Ray will get Thursday and Friday against L.A. So he's really using Webb and Ray twice against the Dodgers, and he's got to look at that for the rotation aspect of it. Now, what Verlander did yesterday, man, if they could push them back and have those 3 again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they won't do that. They got to go into that Arizona series and having an important series there also. They can't just go in there and get swept by the Diamondbacks. So they're going to have to be competitive. Tomorrow, that's why, Bert, tomorrow's the big game. I think tomorrow's a big swing game for them.
Yeah, and tomorrow if they had Webb going, that would be even better. And then you get Ray coming on Monday. That's why Kai Tang.
So you would have rather had Kai Tang throw today or maybe Carson Seymour or somebody else in the middle?
Well, Kai Tang was his rotation. That was he was up next. And look, it's the same result. The loss, Kai Tang probably would have gotten. Not that we would have won, but then at least we would have Webb going tomorrow. And then we got Robbie.
Yeah, he went 4. He went 4 innings against the Cardinals in St. Louis. The first 3 innings were real good. The 5th inning is when he gave it all up when he walked 3 guys in a row. At that time, he had only had 57 pitches for the first 4 innings. He was pitching really well, and then all of a sudden it came off the rails, and he really couldn't throw a strike. Even when they tried to bunt with Furman in the 9-hole, he couldn't even throw a strike to have him bunt. And that's where that whole inning was a disaster because all 3 of those walks scored, and they end up losing that game 4-3. I can see what you're saying about using Kai Tang, but I really think that Bob Melvin felt these are my horses. If I can win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers series, maybe Kai Tang will throw Monday. He hasn't even got up and thrown, so I suspect he will probably throw Monday.
Yeah, that's why we're stuck though on Monday and Tuesday. I mean, now we got guys, and those games are.
Bert, let me ask you this question, Bert. Encarnacion comes off the IL. He's been playing in Sacramento. Did you like the format of Matos in center field and Encarnacion in right field? Because I know people wanted to see Jung-Hoo Lee play center field, but I think he just took him out, gave him a day of rest because right-handers are going to come at him, and Jung-Hoo Lee will play most of the games. I just felt Matos just couldn't get good jumps in center field. A couple of those balls were close where I thought if he had a better jump, he would have got both of them.
I agree. I mean, no time to be resting people now.
Yeah, well, there's 14 games left. I don't think he's going to be resting much. I just felt bad for Matt Gage today. I opened up talking about him when he hit Muncy. As a pitcher, and I know the feelings that were going through him, visibly you could see he was shaken up. And I would have had somebody get up and start throwing right then and there. They didn't, and it cost them 3 runs that inning. And I felt bad for him because I've hit guys. When I was in Columbia, South America, I was coming down sideways like Tyler Rogers, and I hit a guy right in the jaw, and I broke his jaw, and I was upset. I wanted out of the game immediately because they took him away on a stretcher. I mean, it's frantic in a pitcher's mind of throwing. You don't want to hurt anybody, and something like that happens, you're mentally shook up. You're visibly shook up. And Matt Gage was like that, and that was the only thing I felt bad about when the Giants didn't try to save him at that point.
Yeah, that's good. One more thing regarding Matos in the center field. I now that you brought that up, I guess what they could have done was just put in Jung-Hoo Lee in there, and then maybe get Encarnacion as a DH, because Flores looks like he's lost.
Yeah, Flores looks tired. His swing. That's another thing I was thinking about, why Encarnacion was hitting and Flores sat, but, they're still throwing Flores in there. He did not have a good game at the bat today. He was 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs. So we'll see if that changes as these last 14 games go. I'd rather see Flores as a pinch hitter and have Encarnacion as your DH. Remember what he did in Pittsburgh before he hurt his hamstring. He was pounding the ball in Pittsburgh. Had a couple home run balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Bert, let's count it down, buddy. 14 more games, and I know I'll be hearing from you the next couple weekends, so I'll be waiting to hear all your good, positive thoughts the next 2 weekends.
Okay, sounds good.
I knew I'd get you on that one, Bert. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate your time. All right, let's go to Jake. He's in Berkeley. Jake, you're on an Extra Inning post-game show on a Saturday night. How are you doing out in Berkeley?
I'm doing good, Bill. Just watching a lot of pitching. I know you're a pitcher. I love pitching. And, I'm watching Bob Melvin today. Giants are up. We got a lead. Logan Webb's, been struggling with 91 pitches, and we put him back out there. I didn't agree with that one, Bill. I didn't like that at all.
To go out in the fifth inning?
Because,
wait a minute, in the fifth inning?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
fifth inning?
Yeah.
He only had 84 pitches.
Yeah.
He had 84 pitches, but I would have had somebody up, and they didn't get enough guys up fast enough. I mean, they had Budo up, but he was Webb had already gotten in trouble that inning. By walking Mookie Betts, that first hitter, that showed me that he was getting tired. And like I said, when you divided his pitches up, he only threw 8 sinkers today, which was very unusual in what his repertoire of pitches were today. Sweepers, cutters, and changeups. And they were on him. They hit a lot of ground ball base hits, but at the same time, he seemed like he was in a stretch every inning.
Oh, yeah. He gives up the big home run to Ohtani on the sinker, and he had the bases loaded but with no outs before he got out of that jam. But he was still struggling, and his pitch count is mounting in a fast, 3-4 innings. I just didn't like bringing him out there. I think they wanted to get him a win or something like that, and I just felt, with the Mets losing and this being a good opportunity for the Giants to gain some ground, that you're and you just like you said, Budo wasn't even up. He wasn't even throwing or warming up.
None.
He was sitting down. So what is going on with? This is not the regular season. This is not spring training. This is the like you said. This is tighten up your belt. You want to be the star.
Right.
Well,
and the same point is Matt Gage. I'm going to go back to Matt Gage. As soon as he hit Muncy, there should have been somebody up. He was visibly shaken up. You got to have that bullpen throwing. You got him at least tossing, at least a couple guys moving. You said it just now. This is inning to inning. This isn't, let me try to stretch my starter 5 innings. You had the lead. It was 4-3. Don't push Logan Webb. Get him out there for a couple hitters. And his pitch count was up, just like you said. He had thrown 39 pitches. He had 39 pitches after the second inning, 22 pitches he threw that inning, 29 in the third inning. I know he's a horse, but he can't go out there every game and throw 100 and 110 pitches every game for you. And today, he just didn't have his good stuff.
And how many times has this happened, Bill? This happened last week with Kaiwei Tang. The same, almost exactly the same thing. We talked about it last week. So this is not the first
I just talked to Bert in Hawaii. 4 innings, he was spotless. In the 5th inning, he walks 3 guys in a row. The walks are haunting the Giants in these losses. They walked 6 guys today, and 4 of them scored. You're giving too many free passes up, and a team with the Dodgers, come on, you can't do that. This team hits, and this team hits with power. They hit gaps, and they run the bases very well.
Like you said, tomorrow is a big game. You know, I don't really believe the Giants deserve to win on Friday. I thought they actually deserved to win today. And tomorrow is the one, Bill. This is the one. I mean, there ain't no games left. This is like the
you got 14 games left
series, and we going for
14 games left, and you got to stop the bleeding. Yep. You stop the bleeding, but at the same time, if you can win a series, and tomorrow you win that series, you take 2 out of 3 from Arizona, you take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. That is a fantastic homestand. Now you got to do the same thing on the road trip. Let me ask you this, Jake. 4-game series in L.A. How many games do you think they need to win?
All 4. All 4. It's just not 500 baseball anymore. The Dodgers.
You have to.
This is the
you have to win. Yeah, and that scoreboard, you're going to be watching the whole damn thing, because when the Giants are playing the Dodgers in that 4-game series, the Mets are playing Washington, and then the Cincinnati's playing the Cubs. You can't count Cincinnati out, even though the Athletics beat them 2 games in a row. They got a good team. The Reds have a good, solid team. And they got some games coming at home, too, where they're playing the Cubs in Pittsburgh. It's going to go down to the final week. It's just going to depend on if the Mets can get out of this hole. They've lost 8 straight. So we'll find out, but I'm right with you, Jake. Tomorrow's a big game. Let's see if the Giants can pull it out. Let's go up to John in South City. John, you're on with an extra inning post-game show. How you doing this evening?
Hang in there, Bill. I'm trying to hang in there. You know, that was a rough one.
Have to. Yeah, tough one today, especially when they got 4 in that bottom of the first inning. I felt really solid with Logan Webb on the hill, and he's got a 3-run lead. You thought that was enough to pull it in.
Bill, I kind of agree with you on that one as well. And I felt like Webb left some pitches up today. I know he left some pitches up today. And then Buto, I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on with Buto, Bill.
That was ugly. That was an ugly performance. Yeah. I tell you, the pitch that bothered me the most with Logan Webb was in that 3rd inning, and I talked about it. He had Hernandez 1-2, and he is throwing sweepers on the outside corner, threw a changeup out there. He swung and missed. And then, like you said, he threw the next changeup, and it was middle, and then it went in, and he hit the double off of Ramos's over his glove. I thought that pitch destroyed that inning on him, because if he would have got him out, he had struck out Freeman and Muncy, he would have changed it. It would have only been 1 run. It would have been a home run, and he would still had the lead 4-2. And that hit right there, I thought, really hurt him in that pitch. That pitch he threw it. He didn't look for location. He thought, I'll throw a good changeup here, and he left it across the plate. And, hey, Hernandez hurt him today, 3 for 5 today with 3 RBIs.
That's the most like. Yeah, so that's you're absolutely right on that one, Bill. And then tomorrow they have to win this series. They need to bounce back tomorrow. Robbie Ray needs to keep the ball down low. That's tomorrow's key to the game. Keep the ball down low and score more runs.
They scored 7 tonight, right, John? You'd think 7 runs would be enough to win a game with Logan Webb on the hill. And in the post-game remarks, he said he was disappointed at himself. He said, this is what you said. I left some pitches up. I got behind hitters. I walked hitters. It wasn't the Logan Webb outing that I was looking to get. And I had said this earlier, 8 starts before this. All 8 starts. He'd only given up 3 runs in 2 of them, and 2 were runs or less in 6 of them. So he was dialed in. He was pitching really well for the Giants, and he pitches well at Oracle. But tonight just wasn't his night. So you got to chalk it up. You're not going to do anything about it. He's going to pitch against the Dodgers on Thursday. So he's going to be able to come back and see if he can dazzle them in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And then, Bill, do we have an update on Landon Roop yet, or still we don't know yet?
Throwing on the side. He's throwing on the side as well as Wisenhunt. Both of those guys have been throwing some bullpens. Landon Roop threw a bullpen, I think it was today. Said he felt really good. He's going to throw another bullpen on Monday. He might be that arm coming down the stretch when St. Louis and Colorado to give him another starter. Wisenhunt's also getting better with his lower back. Encarnacion's back. And just like that last caller when we were talking about Encarnacion possibly being the DH, I think Wilmer Flores looks a little tired to me. His swing is not as good as we thought it was. I think you may be able to switch with Encarnacion if there's a lefty and DH him. And I'd rather put Matos in right field against a lefty and put Jung-Hoo Lee back out in center field. I didn't like the defensive format today in the outfield.
Yeah, same here, Bill. I wasn't sure why Wilmer – he looked really tired on the swings today when he was out the bat.
He did.
He was chasing balls.
Punched out 3 times.
Yeah, and then I think you have to change the lineup. I think you have to put Encarnacion as the DH. I do like Gilbert a lot. I mean, I love his kid's energy. The way he plays out there, the way he sparks the I guess you call him the rally man. I guess you want to call him the wow man. I guess his nickname is.
The Energizer Bunny.
Yeah,
I tell you, another guy that's kind of struggling, John, another guy that's trying to struggle is Casey Schmidt at second base. Playing good defense. His bat has kind of gone silent. We haven't really heard much from Casey Schmidt hitting today. Again, he took an 0 for 4 today. Yesterday, he took an 0 for 3, even though he got an intentional walk. His bat hasn't been stinging the bat too quick lately, and I'm just wondering if we're going to see Koss in there tomorrow. Koss has got some electricity in that lineup when he's batting, and I love how he goes to right field with a lot of his swings.
I do like Christian Koss a lot. I mean, I do like when he goes opposite field all the time. I really like his fielding's good as well. His hitting is pretty darn good, Bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just going to see if they change up, if he's going to give Koss a chance. And tomorrow against the right-hander, no doubt you're going to see Jung-Hoo Lee as well. You might see Grant McCray in right field tomorrow because he's a lefty hitter too. And, boy, what a throw he made yesterday. My goodness.
Oh, my God. I know we talked about that last night, about that throw. He made up for that base running mistake. And then what he does last night, throws a dart at Chapman.
101 miles an hour? You got to be kidding me. That was a bullet.
It was. You know what? The only thing, Bill, I want to bring something up is that ghost runner extra innings. It drives me insane. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it, Bill.
That's about I like the pitch clock, don't you? I think the pitch clock was perfectly added in. I like it, and it doesn't even hurt you anymore. You know, you might see 1 or 2 guys miss a pitch, but they're okay with it. Hey, it took too much time. I hate that ghost runner, and I'm right there with you, John. I think you've heard me say that 100 times. Push it back later in the game. Push it in the 12th or 13th inning. Let baseball play that 10th and 11th inning. I think that's how it should be.
Exactly, Bill. Hey, Bill, I appreciate the call, and hopefully we'll bounce back tomorrow.
John, thanks for calling in on a Saturday. I appreciate it. And, hey, let's cross our fingers and hope this Giants team come out swinging tomorrow and get this win. That would be a big, big cherry on top of the cake for this homestand, and let's just hope for the best, John. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back with Dave Tobner. Of course, he writes for the SF Gate, and we're going to talk more Giants baseball as we continue on the Extra Inning postgame show right here on KNBR, the sports leader.
From the mound to the mic, this is KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Hear him by saying to your smart speaker, play KNBR.
Handcrafted in the Bay Area of California, Birdman Bats offer some of the finest, highest quality wood baseball bats and gloves in the world. Stand out this season on or off the diamond with our infinite options of customization at birdmanbats.com. Turn your visions into reality with our online bat and glove builder, and check out all the other gear we offer as well. All available at birdmanbats.com. Birdman Bats. Chirp, chirp.
Pralines and Cream, Tin Roof Sundae, Rocky Road. These are just a few of the Lenardi's Market's customer favorites. Lenardi's old-fashioned gourmet ice cream, smooth, creamy, and delicious. Lenardi's ice cream is made locally with fresh quality ingredients. Lenardi's ice cream is the perfect end to a great meal or after a Giants win. Stop by one of Lenardi's 8 locations and treat yourself to your favorite flavor. San Bruno, Burlingame, Belmont, Los Gatos, 2 in San Jose, 1 in Bascom, 1 on Meridian, Walnut Creek, and Danville. Lenardi's, quite simply, the best.
Georgie Brothers Furniture Showroom is a full-service home furnishing store located at 211 Baden Avenue in South San Francisco and has been in business for 92 years. It is one of the Bay Area's best-kept secrets. Still operated by the third-generation Georgie family, their goal is to offer expert and personal service as well as white glove in-home delivery. Georgie Brothers also features a Simmons Beauty Rest mattress gallery. Get a great night's sleep at an amazing price. Come visit our 50,000 square foot showroom, which is full of beautiful quality furniture pieces. You can also visit them at GIORGIBROS.com.
This is KNBR Extra Innings with former Giants right-hander Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Hear him on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR. Play KNBR.
Back on the Extra Inning post-game show, Giants lose the second game of three-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers 13-7 at Oracle Park. 13 runs, 17 hits for the LA Dodgers. Giants scored 7 with 8 hits, and they made it a game after 5 innings when it was 9-7, but the Dodgers ended up pulling away and winning this game. They're 83-65. The Giants are now 75-73. Coming on next, my good friend from the SF Gate, let's welcome in Dave Tobner. Dave, how are you this evening?
Doing good, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on a late night Saturday, and I think everything rolls into tomorrow's game, Dave. Robbie Ray against Tyler Glass now, and it really shows what this homestand's going to be for the San Francisco Giants. I believe it's a big turning game for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had the chance to kind of take a stranglehold of that last wild card spot tonight, and didn't work out, but they're still only a half game out, so it's a big one tomorrow. They can't keep counting on the Mets to just lose the rest of the year. They've got to they've got to make a little noise themselves too. So it's a big one, especially winning a home series against the Dodgers. It would be a real nice momentum boost for that last road trip of the year too.
And I think the Cincinnati Reds got a wake-up call. I really thought they were thinking, hey, we just beat the Padres, and now we're going to go up and play the Athletics, and we're going to have an easy 3 games. And what does the Athletics do? Put 2 L's on them in the first 2 games. And now the Reds are behind the Giants even, a half a game or a game. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think the Reds are probably looking in the mirror going, man, did we have an opportunity to jump back in this race too?
Yeah, I think they have there's a full game that the Giants are ahead of them. I think they have the same amount of games played, and the Giants are a game better. So, it would have been a big opportunity for them too. They could have gotten right back into that spot that the Giants are in tonight. But yeah, props to the A's. That worked out pretty well. That Sacramento air really helped tonight. So
Dave, once this homestand's over, and now they got to go into Arizona, and Bob Melvin kept saying, hey, we'll patch our starting pitchers together for Monday and Tuesday, because he pushed Logan Webb up on his normal days of rest of today. And like my buddy Burton in Hawaii, he thought maybe Taiwei Kang was supposed to pitch today. And I go, no, I think they took him out of the rotation to have the 3 horses pitch this series. Would you have done that, or would you have maybe kept it in the same order and had Kaiwei Tang pitch?
I can see why Melvin would do that. I mean, it's a big series, and I know it's a long shot, but they still have a shot at the division. They were 8 out, and they had 7 left against the Dodgers, and now now they only have the 6 left against them. But I know they're not exactly chasing the Dodgers, but I think Bob Melvin may have seen that the way the Mets were playing, that maybe he thought that, take advantage of it while you can and get your horses out there, get them the extra starts if you can. You want to be able to count on Webb and Ray and Verlander and guys like that. It didn't work out for Webb tonight, but, when every game is October right now for the Giants, they really, every game feels like a must win. And, Bill, when it's a must-win game, you want your best arms out there. And no offense to Tang, I mean, he's had some nice starts, but if you're picking between him and Webb, I'd rather get the win now and try to make up that ground now, because the sooner you can make that ground up, the better, in my opinion. So I can see why you would do that.
Dave Tobner joining me on the Extra Inning Postgame Show. You can follow him on X at GGGiants. So there's 3 G's in front of it. Does a great job, and he loves Seinfeld. No question there, Dave. But, you know, we look
George
at what
George
is getting a lot of work out of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so, you know, looking at Logan Webb and looking at what he's got left in his rotation, so he throws today. Now he throws Thursday against the Dodgers. He does come back Tuesday, and he could get the last day of the season on Sunday. So he could get 3 more starts when I'm out looking, you know, the probable pitchers. Same thing with Verlander. Verlander's going to get 3. Robbie Ray's going to get 3. Now Logan Webb's going to get 4, counting this one. So I think that's where, when you start dissecting who's going to get what as you keep moving forward, I really think that's what Bob Melvin wanted, to see Logan Webb on the hill the last game if they need to win that game.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to leave that up to a guy like Tang. You don't want to leave that up, you know, to a guy like Seymour. You want to have your best shot, especially because it might come down to that last game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've lived through a Giants season that came down to the last game, and they pitched. You remember it well, I'm sure. Solomon Torres in 1993, and we saw what happened there.
Lost in Dodger Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. So
yeah, that didn't go well.
No, not at all. So you know, you want to avoid something like that. You want to have your horse, and you know, I know, like I said, it didn't work out for Webb tonight, but you know, I wouldn't hesitate giving him the ball again. And if it's the last game of the season, he's the guy that you want to see out there. And you know, it makes sense to me. You want to give those guys as many chances as you can down the stretch, and you know, you can't worry about a playoff rotation when you're not in the playoffs. So leave it all out on the field and try to get into October and figure it out then.
Dave, we always talk about Dodger-Giants rivalries. Last night's game, it couldn't have been over the top. That was just a sensational game, even through the 9th inning when they tried to score on a sac fly. It didn't work out. Then you had Grant McCray throwing out a runner at third. The momentum switched so quickly. They load up the bases, and Patrick Bailey, batting right-handed, hits one out. That place went wild, man. 40,000 fans were just screaming like it was a playoff game. I really felt that motivation came into this game, especially when they scored 4 in the bottom of the first inning. But when you overlook at it, you know, this Dodger team is a good hitting team. And they didn't fret. They were behind in this game, and they kept battling, and they had some good at-bats against Webb and Budo. And then I still feel about Matt Cage by hitting Muncy. They kept him in that inning. I thought he was mentally checked out.
Yeah, you know, they're a tough team, and you know, they made Webb work tonight. He might not have had his best stuff, but he battled. But the Dodgers they're just a relentless lineup, and especially the top of their lineup. I mean, I don't know if there's a better one in baseball, really.
Yeah.
And you know, it's once Gage hit Muncy, like you said, it just seemed to be, he seemed to just kind of lose it, and you know, it's unfortunate. But you know, you always say they're not going to run the table. There's going to be a few bad ones in this last stretch, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to move on to the next one. But you know, it's not like they're losing to the Rockies at home. You know, the Dodgers are a great team, and you know, if they can win the series tomorrow, that's even better. You got to take the victories where you can get them. But yeah, tonight was just a tough one. There's just not much you can say other than you lost to a very good team.
I remember when Baltimore Orioles here for a weekend, and you remember Rodgers, he dealt against the Giants. They won 11-1 on Saturday, and I said on Saturday night's postgame, just like I'm going to say tonight, it's going to be how they come back from today's game and how they can battle tomorrow. And I said that was the same way I felt with the Orioles beating them 11-1. Are they going to come back and fight and try to win this series? And tomorrow's going to be that type of game. Tyler Glasnow, right-hander. They'll have more lefties in there. I think that's a big, big plus. They're 16-26 against left-hand starting pitchers. Kershaw didn't have his good stuff today, but I like their chances against a right-handed starter. I like Jung-Hoo Lee in center field, so much better than what I saw in Matos today. And, you know, you'll probably see maybe Grant McCray in right field or even our Energizer Bunny, Drew Gilbert.
Absolutely. I think, you know, it's. I think that Lee got his day off, and I can't imagine he's going to get another one just because we saw unfortunately, Matos he's not a center fielder. He had a rough one out there tonight, and I don't think they can afford to be without Lee's defense the rest of the way. And like you said, they got to Kershaw tonight, which just so rarely happens. Even it was nice to see. It's a shame they couldn't take advantage of that. But yeah, it's much better set up for right-handed pitching than they are for left-handed. So tomorrow, like you said, I think the last time we spoke was after that loss, and we always say that when we talk, it seems like they lose, but I'm going to say it every time that I've talked to you, Bill, they win the next day. So I feel
well, we got to keep the streak going, right? I mean,
exactly.
I think, Dave, we've only had one win. We talked on the post-game show. I mean, we're going to have to mix it up here in the next 14 games.
Yeah, I think a win.
But when you overlook this, Dave, when you look at the season and the ups and downs, and you start looking at wins and losses and what they did throughout the year and how they started the season, and they had slumps in July and June, and then they come back in August. There is no chance in hell that anybody would be expecting where they are now in September and the opportunities that they still have that they could get in a wild card.
It's amazing that they're playing meaningful games right now. If you saw, if you would have told me this back in July, I would have laughed. I mean, the way they look, they just look completely dead. But they're taking it. They're playing well, but they're also taking advantage of this historic Mets collapse, which is coming at the right time for them. And it's good to see them. They're playing up to their potential. This is the team that the Giants should have been all year. So it's masking a lot of what happened, over the summer. It's making people forget about it, which is nice. And, you kind of hope that this, even if I think that we talked about it last time, Bill, even if they don't make the playoffs this year, just the fact that they've kind of found their core and they seem to be gelling is very important for going forward. Of course, making October would be great. And, they've got as good a chance as anybody. I really can't believe they're this close with a couple of weeks left. I would have never guessed it. I would have thought we'd be talking about, potential roster moves over the winter by now.
We'd have been talking about 2026 and what the roster would be looking at. And we're still looking at the wild card race because we're looking at the schedules. And I broke all the schedules down. I spent my time doing it thinking, okay, they got St. Louis and Colorado the last 6. And I think that opens the door. But the Mets also have the Cubs in Miami. So will the Cubs be in a playoff position that they can start resting guys? We just don't know what other teams will do when you get down to that last week.
Right. And, you can't take it for granted too. I mean, the Cardinals and the Rockies, they're both major league teams and they have pride. And, I remember the 1998 season when the Giants were fighting the Cubs for the wild card, and all they had to do was beat the Rockies in Coors Field, and they would have clinched the wild card. And I don't know if you remember, but I think Navy Perez hit a homer off of Nen, and that was the end of the game. And they had that one-game playoff with the Cubs and lost, and that was it. So you can't the Rockies. You can never trust the Rockies. Ever since the Rockies couldn't beat the Braves once in 1993, I've never trusted the Rockies. So it's never going to be easy. So they just like you said, they just got to take care of business. They've got to beat Arizona. They've got to hopefully at least split the series in LA when they go down there. But you couldn't ask for a better ending schedule. They've got two teams that are going to be out of it, and hopefully the Giants are still playing meaningful games, and hopefully they can finish it off and get into October again.
Well, Dave, 14 games left. I'm going to have a few of these games in the postseason and post games. Hopefully I'll have a postseason, but in post games. So we're going to have to break the streak before the 2025 season ends. We only had one win so far, so we'll have to break it, but I'll definitely get a hold of you and we'll work out another post game wrap with you. But I'd want to thank you on a Saturday for joining me this late.
Maybe wait and see, if they win a game, and then call me right after. I'll be on. Maybe we don't.
A surprise guest, right?
Yes,
you can
absolutely.
be a surprise guest. How's that?
Absolutely.
Dave, have a
Thanks,
great
Bill.
Saturday night. I appreciate your time. That was Dave
Thanks,
Tobner.
buddy.
You can read his work at SF Gate. Does a great job in following sports all in the Bay Area. So we'll call it a night. The Extra Inning postgame show will close out now. We'll be back on tomorrow. Got a couple great guests tomorrow. Steve Sachs and I sit down, talk a little Dodger baseball. Of course, he's been a broadcaster with the A's and also with the River Cats. And also I caught up with Kelby Tomlinson, the forever Giant himself, and he's an optometrist now, but I sat down with him and had a great conversation about what he's doing in life now and how he really played the game of baseball and all the trials and tribulations in his career. And that'll be on tomorrow on the Extra Inning postgame show. I want to thank Raph for producing the show. I want to thank Dave Tobner for jumping on, and also all you Giant callers calling in. Hey, we'll see if we can bounce back tomorrow and get a win and have a fun day Sunday. For Bill Laskey, be safe, be well. Have a great rest of the night on a Saturday, and we'll have more coming up right here on KNBR, the Sports Leader.